And we are live on the Metal Voice. Is this your last interview of the day?
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah.
That's it. After
Perfect.
what? How many interviews did you have today? 30?
Yeah. Uh, More than 15 every day now, but it's always exciting to talk about music and stuff. So I don't mind. But yeah. But if
Do,
I
do,
mumble, you know why.
you might like just like, fall like that, just fall down. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't even know if I could do like two interviews, let alone 15. Wow,
Yeah,
that's a
and being
lot.
on tour, we always tour and do festivals. So yeah, that's like, that's rough on the voice, but the voice sounds even better for the first five songs and then it goes. So,
Uh,
when you talk all day, but that's the way it is. And I'm doing it for such a long time, I'm used to it. So yeah.
and this is live, just like a show, just like when you perform a show. This is live right here. Red Slide. Any mistakes?
Anyways,
There's no lip syncing. There's no lip talking here. You screw it up. It's over. Okay, here we go. The new album. Of course, Doro, a guest once again on the Metal Voice. Happy to have you back again.
thank you.
Conqueress, Forever Strong and Proud, going to be released October 27th on Nuclear Blast Worldwide.
Yes, yes.
Last time we spoke, you kind of just gave us a couple of hints about Rob Halford being on. But
Yeah.
this time, the whole album's out there. I've heard it. I'm sure people are very excited about it. So let's get into. I guess we could talk about the songs themselves, right? Just
Yes.
an overall sort of picture of what people can expect that they're going to be listening to on this album, like in terms of musical styles and inspirations, or not inspiration, musical styles, and what the songs. Tell us about the album without playing the album. How's that?
Yeah, I think it is tremendously powerful. It has 20 killer songs on it and three duets, which I'm so grateful, so happy. One is with Sammy Amara, it's a German singer of a German big band, and two with Rob Halford. I'm so happy. I'm so over the moon happy. And it has probably some of the hardest songs I've ever did. Like for example, I Will Prevail. That's one of my favorite heavy songs. It's like really heavy. And one song I love, that's the reason why it's the opening track, is Children of the Dawn. And actually the video is just coming out on Friday, the single and
There you
video.
go. There you go. So let's talk about the songs, because I'm. Let's take it apart a little bit. Okay, "Children of the Dawn." When I heard this song, I thought of "Accept" and "Sabaton."
Oh really? Okay.
I don't
How
know
good?
why, because maybe because it was sort of like contemporary to today, the metal. I don't know. Am I wrong? There's a little bit of a gang vocals on it, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's actually my bass player. Man, he has such an awesome voice. It's Stefan. And yeah, and then he did it. It was at first a demo and he sang, and I thought, man, that sounds so great. And he said, okay, then we would sing it all together, the whole band. But I tell you, his voice alone, that's like the massive choir you hear. So, and it sounds great. And yeah, he's a killer guy. And yeah, we wrote I Will Prevail and Children of the Dawn together. And I think it really makes this album like has a different atmosphere. It's a little bit, yeah, hardcore heavier.
Yeah.
And I love
And
it.
"I
And
Will
the video
Prevail."
is
Let's
awesome
talk
too.
about "I Will Prevail" now. That's another song. This sounds like a Megadeth Metallica riff. I don't. Am I wrong about this? Am I wrong
Uh,
about this?
no, actually, when we write songs, we never plan it out. It just comes out. And
Yeah.
somebody has a good idea. Usually I'm pretty good doing a nice chorus, like melody chorus. Yeah, that's always my thing, and then everybody puts everything around it, and yeah, and every song came out in a different way. Sometimes I write songs in my sleep
Oh,
before I
geez.
fall asleep or when I wake up. I
Okay.
think I'm in the best mind frame, and then certain ideas just come out, and I always have to make sure that I put it right away on my cell phone, and then usually I send it to a longtime friend. His name is Andreas Brun. He's the ex guitar player of Sisters of Mercy, and we worked together since 1996. And when I have an idea where I really feel on fire, then I always send it to Andreas and say, hey, yeah, Andreas, check it out. And when he says, ooh, I love it, then usually I go to Hamburg, Germany, Hamburg, and then we work, and we finish the song. But the idea has to be powerful, and I feel it in my heart, in my body, when I'm all excited, when my heart is pumping, then I know, ooh, this could be something. And we wrote about 40 songs for this album, and then I had to
Wow.
pick the best 20 songs. And so that's hard because you love every song, for different reasons. But I think now it's a whole spectrum between super heavy, super hard, and super soulful, vibey, lots of
Well,
anthems, which
well,
I
I mean,
love.
you have death metal growl vocals
Yeah.
on "I Will Prevail," and I'm just gonna point stuff out here, and that's why I kind of think of Accept and a little bit. They have a lot of gang vocals. Children of the Dawn and "I Will Prevail," they have the growls, the death growls, right in the background,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I love it. And I can't wait till we play it live. Oh man, just the diehard fans and the journalists like you, they heard the whole album, but oh, I can't wait. We
That's what I'm
just
trying to
made one
describe it. I'm
song.
trying to describe it for people, right, to get an
Yeah,
understanding.
actually, I think it's the best record we've ever done since Triumph and Agony, maybe. But I love all the albums, but I think this one yeah, came out killer. And
No,
we
I
worked on
agree
it
with you.
3 years. Yeah, you agree?
I
Oh,
agree.
good,
I
good.
agree. I
I know
agree.
every band always says the new album is the best, but I really feel strongly about it. And yeah, and it has many goodies. Like it's all picture discs and stuff. I'm old school. I love some
Show it.
old
Show
school
it. Show
stuff.
it. Show it.
So it's
Yeah.
a double album, picture disc and stuff.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
Wow.
it has a great box set, and in the box set you have some nice jewelry, so you can fight.
Wow. Cool.
You
Yes, you
know,
could fight.
fight the good fight, and yeah, and, and the booklet of the DVD is a big book with all kinds of photos. It's kind of a timeline. I can show you in the thing, and it's like like you see everybody like from that's my first band, Snakebite, the black and white shot, and then it goes on
Wow.
Monsters of Rock Festival. That's Lemmy, Monsters of Rock 1986. And that's the
Wow.
Judas Priest tour, 1986, my first big tour with Judas Priest. And then we take it from there. And it's like a big book, and Ronnie James Dio is in it. And of course, all these great people and Rob Halford. So I think, the DVD the um, CD is great. Yeah, we will
You're
do a DVD. It's my last interview. So
you're getting tired now. It's okay. It's all right. Now, when I put on a song like "Fire in the Sky" for everybody who has not heard this, I think of like Scorpions' Blackout. And again, I'm not saying it is that. I'm just saying I get that vibe. Like the
cool.
fast-paced Blackout German metal. I get that sense. I don't know if you
Oh,
feel that too.
cool. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. This song I wrote with my guitar player, Bill Hudson. And
Yes.
he's an American citizen, but he's born in Brazil, and he has that fire, and we work great together live. It's a dream. It's awesome. So we did this song together, and yeah, so yeah, I think it's pretty heavy. Actually, I thought it's more like Motorheadish, but when you say blackout, yeah, that's cool.
Put on
That's cool.
Blackout, like the riff. It's anyways. I'm just telling what I'm feeling. Okay, here, and then the song "All for You." A lot of people, of course, have not heard it. Right. This is another Scorpion song, but I love the lyrics because it's sort of like I tear down walls, break every rule, doing it all for you. When you like breaking all the rules, it's like commitment, right? That's a commitment.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes, totally. That's the reason why the album is called Conqueress Forever Strong and Proud. It's like, yeah, it's a commitment. It's like, always staying strong and always fight the good fight and never let them bastards get you down. So always like, push through and all for you, of course, me. I'm doing it for the fans. I love the fans more than anything. So all for
So
you.
you as the
I mean the
fans, you
fans.
as the fans. Okay, it's not like a single person here, but it's the fans. Okay, all right,
No,
all
but
right.
everybody can do their own interpretation. You
That's
can,
right. That's right.
it
That's
can
right.
be, somebody you really feel strongly about. But to me, it's always the fans. I made up my mind when I was 24. And then I thought, okay, today I want to choose my priorities. And then the priority was fans and the music. And ever since, I'm really happy that I made that decision. And yeah, and every song is for the fans. It's like, it's never a love affair and stuff. It's always the fans. They are,
I
that's,
also, people are texting, so I'm going to read some text. They could be statements, they could be questions. All right. Tell
yeah.
Doro, this is from Michael. Tell Doro her performance at Wacken this year was the best of the whole
Oh,
festival.
oh, 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 that feels so good. Oh my God. That moves me to tears. Oh, that's so nice because
Okay.
that Wacken, it was so special because I never seen so much rain and mud in my life. And I was playing in Wacken. I think we were 9 times headliner, and I was there maybe 20 times. And this time it was extremely heavy because, mud up to here. And we did this big show. We celebrated my anniversary for the first time. I will do the second show in Düsseldorf, my former hometown,
Uh-huh.
28th of October. And we had many guests flying in, and the only guest who could make it to rehearsal was Joey Belladonna. He had the longest
Hmm.
flights and stuff, but he showed up for rehearsal, and everybody else was stuck in traffic, stuck in the mud, and uh,
Yes, I
and
heard
then we
about
did
that.
this show. But it was great. Everything worked out, and we had many guests like Udo Dirkschneider was there, Hansi Kirsch of Blind Guardian, Mickey D and Phil Campbell of Motorhead. Now Mickey D in the Scorpions, and we did some stuff for Lemmy. We did Love Me Forever, which was actually my very first duet with Lemmy, of course, a great Motorhead classic. And we recorded it in 2000 for my album Calling the Wild. And we did that song, and then Ace of Spades with all the guests. And the Wacken people, they had a big surprise for us. There was a big drone show, and Lemmy's face was up in the sky, and his face, and he had his hat on, and he had a cigarette in his mouth, and the cigarette was smoking. It was like, blowing smoke. I don't know how these drones did. It was spectacular. And so it was a big show, and yeah, and everybody made it. And we didn't even rehearse. Chris Caffrey, he was playing guitar together with my guitar player, so there was a lot of shredding and solos, and my God. And but I love it. I could
The
have 10
highlight.
guitar players of that caliber.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, Lean Mean Rock Machine. Like I think of when I heard the song off your new album, I don't know what it is, but I thought of Joan Jett. I don't know why. They're very anthemic, right? Joan Jett's got very anthemic songs. Something that you're going to listen to over and over again. It just sticks in
Yes.
your head. Tell me about that song?
Yeah, actually, man, you're absolutely right. I love anthems. I love them so much. And this will be actually a single, but a little bit later. And that's actually our first comic video. Somebody is doing the comic stuff. And I saw the first 50 seconds. It's awesome. It's so funny. It's hilarious. It's so great. So this will probably come out around Christmas. Yeah, and it's an anthem. And I invited the diehard fans, like all my patrons, I invited for the secret listening session. We did it 1 week ago, and I played them the whole record. And Lean Mean Rock Machine was one of their absolute favorites, and everybody was singing Lean Mean Rock Machine because it's easy to sing, it's cool, and so I can't wait till we have that video out in the single. And I think that might be one of the fans' favorites because it's really makes you feel good,
Anthemic.
but it's cool
Anthemic. It's anthemic,
and
right?
famous. Yeah.
And I think that's the common theme on this whole album. Every song is by themselves individually different, but they're all
Mhm.
anthemic.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. I would totally agree. And I love anthems. Since we did Through a Steel or Burning the Witches or All We Are, that anthem I always played every every concert. Uh, yeah, it came out in 1987, and there was not one concert I played without All We Are. And sometimes we played All We Are even 3 times because
Hmm.
people were calling it out so many times. Like, we played it in the set, we played it as an encore, and then we played it as another encore. And sometimes things, but when it feels good, and I love anthems. I'm a big fan of anthems. And when everybody sings along, oh, that's so, oh, yeah, I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
I will tell you, like, I think you're very right that after so many years, this is one of your best albums. Like, I'm not saying it's your best, but it's one of your best albums, and
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people will see that. All right, Rob Johnson is saying, "Come back to Montreal, Quebec, Canada." So when's the
Yes,
time?
yes, I
I mean, when are
will.
you coming to Canada? What's going on here?
Next year the booker is already booking all the clubs, the festivals. So next year we will start in March, and this year we have a couple of more festivals in Mexico. It's not Canada, not America, but next year we will be in Canada and America and play
Good.
all these, hopefully great festivals. I love playing festivals. I just actually played a festival in Brazil with the Scorpions and Kiss, and and before it was with Judas Priest, and actually, yeah, there I actually met Rob Halford at Hellfest last year, and then we were hanging out, talking a little bit, and then it was my very first tour with Judas Priest in 1986, and then we talked, and I said, yeah, I'm just finishing the new album, and I have 40th anniversary, and then we looked at each other, and then we said, shall we do something together? And Rob said, do you have a song you want to do? And I said, yes, because I was born and raised with the new wave of British heavy metal. This one was one of my favorites. And and I asked Rob if he wants to do Living After Midnight with me, and he said, yes, let's do it. And he said, and I have a wish. I would like to do a song with you for a long time. And I said, really? With me? And he said, yes. Total Eclipse of the Heart. And I thought, wow. And we did it. And it's the metal version of Total Eclipse of the Heart. I think it's such a great duet. And that video and the single will come out the day the album is coming out. So on the 27th of October, you can see that video all for free on YouTube. And
It's a
you
good
can hear the
choice.
single.
It's strange enough, but I think Total Eclipse of the Heart, I like that one better than Living After Midnight.
No way. Really? Oh,
Sorry, I've got to be
that's cool.
honest,
That's cool.
because I've heard
That's
it so
cool.
many times, Living After Midnight. But I think not Bonnie Raitt, Bonnie Tyler, uh,
Yes.
that is a song that kind of has a metal vibe. I've always felt. I don't know what it is. It's
Yes. And it's actually a vampire story. I didn't know that before. But
Jim
yeah,
Steinman.
yes, yeah, yeah. And and it's so funny. We had the engineer on the Triumph and Agony album. His name was Steve Rinkoff, and he was a very, very talented young engineer. And he actually went to work with Jim Steinman, and I think he became the house engineer. I think he did Meatloaf and stuff. And he was a really young guy, and he did Triumph and Agony with us in '87. So everything is always, I love it when everything is connected. And but that song, that was a real challenge because it was a big production. But then I heard Rob Halford's vocals, and I thought, wow, he's doing such a great job, and he has so much passion, and I could feel he loves that song so much. So I gave it my all, to make it a great duet, and I think it came out great. So I'm
I
really
like it
excited.
because it's out of the box, right? And you've
Yeah.
taken a song that people know and you've turned it into something else. You've made it better in a sense. And plus, you have your voice has that sound like Bonnie Tyler. She's got that really rasp in her voice, so it works well. I think that's my opinion. That's my opinion,
Good.
right? What
Yes,
what
I, I,
what
I, I would agree. I would agree.
what have you learned from Rob Halford over the years?
Ah, yeah, man. Since it was my first tour in 1986, he was always my big hero. I had a handful of singers where I felt, man, that's it. Like it was Ronnie James Dio, David Coverdale, Lemmy, and Rob Halford. And he was always my idol. And then we played the legendary Monsters of Rock festivals 1986, two in Germany and one in England in Castle
Mm-hmm.
Donington. And actually, it was so important because England was the country, everything was decided in England. If you could get a worldwide release, if you could go on tour worldwide. And then we did this festival. Actually, I was going on stage and I ran into Lemmy. And Lemmy said, hey, have a good show. And he said, are you nervous? And I said, oh, Lemmy, I'm so nervous. And then he gave me a big hug and he gave me a kiss on my forehead. And then I went on stage with the wet kiss on my head. And I felt like $1,000,000. And we did a great show. And then everybody said, okay, let's give this little band a chance. And then we could hop on tour with Judas Priest. And it was in 1986 when metal was so huge. And ever since, I saw every night, I saw Rob Halford perform, how he did it with the fans, how his singing, his vocals were always like, wow, and I loved his style. I always felt like, yeah, I want to be the male, the female Rob Halford, and then I came to New York for a little promotion tour, just 3 days, New York City, and after 2 days I stayed, and then we did the legendary Triumph and Agony album, and I wanted to get new stage clothes. and my producer and guitar player Joey Bell, he said, what do you want to wear? It's a new album. You want to have a new style. And I said, I want to look like Rob Halford. He said, okay, let's do it. Let's go. And then, and I always felt very,
But the
very
animal friendly version.
connected.
But the
What?
animal friendly version, right? The animal friendly clothes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And back in the 80s, I wasn't conscious about, but now I only wear vegan leather and, it looks the same. It feels great. No animals were hurt or, yeah, it's all vegan
So
leather,
you're
but
pure. You're a
yeah,
pure vegan, right? You're a pure vegan. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I
What about
became
this
vegan
cricket?
just
Everybody's
because
talking
of the
about crickets
animals.
now. Eating crickets. I mean, what's up with crickets? Everyone's talking about crickets. I mean, is this something like people really want to eat? I mean, like,
Yeah, yeah, no, I don't know, but yeah, I think it was like maybe 20 years ago. I turned, yeah, I became a vegetarian, and then the last 6, 7 years I'm vegan, and I feel really good, and I think it does. My health is better. Usually I was always sick on
but is
every tour.
crickets too much? Is eating
Yeah,
crickets too much?
yeah, I don't know. Everybody, yeah, everybody can eat what they want, but
They
yeah,
might as well eat a tomato instead of a cricket. That's what I'm thinking. Like it's like what do we eat? Crickets now? Like what's going on here?
yeah, yeah. All over in bakeries, you always see these signs like we use crickets. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. No,
I'm
but
not that much of a vegetarian. Like forget it. I don't want to eat crickets. Okay. Um, what about a lot of bands, lip syncing, but you don't come across as someone who's going to go up on stage and fake singing. You don't. To
no,
me, you don't look like that kind of person. You give it all, right? You give it all, and it's all real, and that's how I look at it.
always, every time. It can be Wacken, it can be a big festival, or it can be a small club. Always 110%. I give it my all. I always treat every gig like it could be the last, and afterwards, like everything is like, hurting in pain. When I take off my boots, the whole, the feet are bleeding, and I think, oh my God. And then the tour manager said, hey, tomorrow you have another gig. And I think, yeah, I know. But when I'm on stage, I don't feel any pain. But before and afterwards, it's a different story. But I never lip synced ever on stage. But sometimes when you have to do a TV show, then they have a playback because
Yeah,
they
no,
don't
I
want to have the
understand
whole,
that.
you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the only thing. TV show, yeah, sometimes they don't want to put up with the whole band, or with sound check and stuff. So that's the only time that we did, lip sync and playback. But other than that, never, never.
The
It's all
real
live.
deal. The
Yeah,
real
yeah, the
deal.
real deal. And
You
we
know, I,
don't use a click. The drummer Johnny D is our drummer. He never plays to a click live, and I don't like a click. It's like, I want to be
me neither.
flexible and playing according to the fans. If it needs to be faster or heavier, then I can do it. Or I always change the set list, which the guys in the band, they always think, oh no, again, she changes the set list. But I think that's the way to do it, to make crowd really feel great, and I don't want to bore anybody. When I feel, oh, they want to hear another fast song, then I play another old school metal song or fast song. And when I want to hear more anthems, then we play more anthems. So I always play, every concert is a different set list. And yeah.
I agree with you, man. Click Tracks has made music very
Yes.
boxed it in. It's made robotic. It's made
Yeah,
it very
yeah,
robotic,
right, right. No,
So
we
it
don't
speeds
want
up a
that.
little bit. So it slows down a bit. That's rock and roll, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And play it how you feel it. And I think,
That's right.
that's.
Yeah. All right. There's another thing I found, and you could comment about this if you like or not. Jeff Young, Dave Mustaine, Megadeth, when you toured with them, you caused a lot of problems in that
I didn't
band.
know that. I'm
You
sorry.
caused a lot of problems. I don't
I'm
know if you know
sorry.
this.
I'm
I'm sure you
sorry,
know
man.
this, right? You caused a lot. So you kind of like Dave Mustaine, and then Jeff Young kind of liked you, and he got a little jealous, and it stirred up everything, and you just made a mess, and you didn't even know you made a mess.
No, really, I was, man, I just, I always mean well. And I must say, I really must say, when I'm a support band, I always love the headliner. It doesn't matter who it is. When I was on tour with Judas Priest, I loved Rob Halford. I loved Judas Priest. When I was on tour with Ronnie James Dio, I loved Ronnie James Dio. And when we played with Megadeth in the States, it was my first tour in the States. I loved Megadeth and I loved Dave Mustaine, and and I was a big Metallica fan as well. When we played with Metallica, the very early gigs we did actually in Europe, we did with Metallica when they just had Kill 'Em All out. That's the reason why I did one Metallica song on this album.
Yes,
It's
we should
Four
mention that.
Horsemen,
We should
to
mention that.
just
Yeah,
give
yeah.
thanks for 40
To
years of
Megadeth
Kill 'Em
and to
All.
Dave Mustaine and Metallica, right? So at the same
Absolutely,
time.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, but I'm sorry if I caused trouble. No, I
Did
didn't.
you know at the time you were causing trouble?
No, actually, because usually I'm doing my thing, and I remember I got when I went on tour with Megadeth, I went into my dressing room and there was a big bouquet of roses, red roses, and I thought, oh man, that's so great. And I thought, wow, Megadeth, that's so unbelievable, that they would give the support band roses. And I thought it's for the whole band, and of course, I'm a girl, so that fits. But I had no idea that the roses were maybe from the guitar player and not from the whole band Megadeth. So it started right away. It was weird, but yeah, but I didn't want it to cause any problems. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I'm just doing my
Were
thing.
the
I
flowers
always
from Jeff
try my
Young? They were
best.
from Jeff Young, right? The flowers are from Jeff
I
Young.
I think, we didn't even talk that much on the tour because usually, when you're on tour, you are in your own tour bus and then you hop on stage and then the headliner goes on stage. And then I did always an autograph session. I talked to the fans for hours and hours. So there was never like, long talking. It was just, hey, have a good show and you rocked and, that kind of stuff. But they were never like really sitting down or, actually my first time that I did long talks, that was actually with Ronnie James Dio when we toured in 2000. Then sometimes we went to dinner, the whole road crew, the whole band. It was such a great tour. And we always went to an Indian restaurant because Ronnie always liked Indian food. And then we talked all night cracking jokes. And it was great. But usually on tour, you don't have much time to talk, especially to the headliner. It's like not, it, it wasn't common in the 80s. Now it's much more, like it's not so complicated anymore. But in the 80s, like the managements, the record company, the agencies, everybody kept the acts, more to themselves. So there was not even a big chance, and so we never really talked long. But I was always in love with the headliner every single time, and and it was my first big America tour. So you can imagine, I always wanted to go to America, and then my dream came true when I did a promotion tour for True as Steel. That was our third album, and it was planned 3 days in New York, and then after 2 days I stayed, and then and then we did Triumph and Agony album, which I still love so much, and I still play All We Are and Für immer and I Rule Ruins. It's every night in our set list. So yeah, but it was unbelievable. Yeah, but I guess and I never thought there's a big difference. I always felt I was one of the guys. I never felt I'm different, like, or I'm a woman. I was metal, and I was, yeah, I'm a human being. So that thing that I was a girl or a woman, I was not so aware of it you know
Yeah, yeah. You're a troublemaker, but you didn't know you caused trouble.
no, and I didn't mean to. No,
All
no,
right.
no.
What do you remember from touring with W.A.S.P?
Oh, that was a great tour. So I was on tour with Judas Priest in 1986, and there were all the big stadiums, the big arenas, and we finished our tour in Scandinavia. And I was always watching the sound check of Judas Priest, and the tour manager and the road crew of Priest. They always said, "Hey, you little girl, don't walk on the ice," because we always played these big ice hockey stadiums. And I said, "No, no, it's okay. I can take it. I always feel like I'm, who are still, strong." So one day later, we hopped on tour with W.A.S.P in England. It was my first big tour in the UK, and I was sick as a dog. I was so sick, so sick. And the tour was not the big stadiums, it was like the smaller clubs. It was a great tour, but smaller clubs. So there was usually only one dressing room for the headliner, and we didn't have a dressing room. So I was sitting on a stairway. It was cold, it was freezing, it was winter time, like, oh, and I had a big fever. I probably had pneumonia. I didn't know it, but I think that was what it was. So one time, Blackie Lawless, he came up the stairs and he said, "Hey, are you Doro? Are you from Warlock? Are you the support band?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "You look really, really sick." And I said, "Man, I feel I'm dying." He said, "You know what? Come with me." And then he carried me into his dressing room and told his band members to just, like, like, let me have the dressing room. And he said, "Here, lay on the couch," and he gave me all kinds of medicine and some vitamins and fruit juice and fresh fruit, which in the 80s that was unheard of in England. Fresh fruit and fruit juice and vitamins, no way. Now it's a different story, but
Yeah, it's true.
back then it was absolutely, you couldn't get that stuff. So he said, "I will take care of you." And he gave me some medicine, like it was his secret potion. And I drank it and I ate some vitamins. And then I laid down. He said, "You know what? You sleep and I wake you up when it's time for you to go on stage or to get dressed." And I slept like a baby. And then he woke me up and I got all dressed up and I felt so good. And I was healed almost instantly. It was still a heavy tour, but I felt so good and he really took care of me and he was the sweetest person and it was unbelievable. And he probably will not remember that, but I will remember that for a lifetime.
That's a cool story. Chris Holmes says hi. I'm friends with Chris Holmes, and
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Hi back, Chris. I just seen him on the Monsters of Rock cruise and what a great guy. I love Chris.
and
And
Kathy
yeah,
Holmes too. And Kathy Holmes' wife. They're both very
yes.
nice
Oh,
people.
hi to Kathy. And she takes care of Chris. I love that. She's a
Yeah.
great manager and a great wife. And that's so that's cool. It's cool to see them.
All right. Tell us more about the new album. Is there anything else that you didn't mention? I know you're talking about this album all day. We should
Yeah.
mention again. You're doing Metallica's cover song, right?
Yes.
You're you're doing a Bonnie Tyler cover song. You're doing Living After Midnight cover song. So there's three cover songs there, powerful songs.
Yes.
What else? And Metallica. Not many people do covers of Metallica, right? Four Horsemen.
No, that's right. That's right. Actually, yeah,
Did
Four
you have to did you
Horsemen.
have to clear it? Did you have to clear it with the band? Because not many people do. Was
I hope they love it. I hope they like it.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought, it's cool to do. I love the song. I always loved the Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning. And yeah, we played in 1984 or 85. We played together the first gigs. And yeah, I just did it. And I hope they love it. I did actually, I covered one time Nothing Else Matters. And I think it came out so great. So I always wanted to let them hear the version, but I'm sure it's okay. Yeah, because we had a good thing going and we were great friends in the 80s. That was just like it was really awesome. And I love James Hetfield as well, I must say. When I saw him like first gigs, I thought, man, that is metal. That is so metal. That's so great. And everybody was super sweet to me. And I remember Cliff Burton as well. He
Cliff,
was a
yeah.
super cool guy, very, very relaxed, yet like he was great and great bass player, boah, and Kirk Hammett and Lars Ulrich. And yeah, we were like, I think we were teenagers. We didn't know what would happen, and it was all like it was phenomenal. And but you could
What?
tell that Metallica would
Yeah,
become
yeah,
really
yeah.
big. You could
So
feel it.
metal's taken off. Your band's taken off, and of course, then you switch to Doro, but then grunge hits, right? Did you did was it a disaster for you? Like when grunge hit? I mean, did you say, okay, I got to get a real job now?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it was a disaster, but we could still do it. We could still go on tour. We could still play. The records didn't come out anymore on a regular basis because I did all the records in the States and then I delivered it to the record company in America. And they said, okay, do you have a single or like a video? What you like to do? And I said, yes. I think they're killer songs on it. I love them all and stuff. And they said, is it grunge? I said, no, no, it's not grunge. They said, but it has to be a little bit of grunge sound. I said, no, I don't feel grunge at all. It's no. And I said, we can't. we can't release it. And I said, well, you have to check out the songs. They are massive. And I said, no, it doesn't matter. If it's not grunge sounding, we can't release the record. So that took many, many years. And it was very heavy to accept it. But in the year 2000, I already felt metal is coming back in a little way, and I had a great fan club. His name is Tony Canella. He was the fan club leader of America, and he said, "Doro, man, we are so upset that records aren't coming out in the States. We always have to buy the imports. They're sinfully expensive, and because in Europe." In some countries, they released the records and we could still tour in Europe. That was actually okay. Yeah, and then one time, he said, can I do something for you? And I said, Tony, just do whatever you feel. He said, do I need permission by the management? I said, no, you need permission. Do what you feel in your heart. And in between 2 weeks, he had 4 record deals on the table. And I thought,
Wow.
my God. And then I went to the first record label. It was Koch Records. And they had a great, great guy there working. And he said, well, I love it. Let's make a deal. And then I started doing the Calling the Wild album. And he said, hey, there is the listening party of Ronnie James Dio in New York for Magica. And I said, you want to go? I said, yes. So I went to the listening party of Ronnie James Dio, Magica. And then I told Ronnie, I love the record, sounded great. And he said, Dora, I always want to tell you, I love your cover version of Egypt, The Chains Are On. And I
Mm.
said, really? And that felt so good, from your hero that somebody says you did a good job. So I said, oh, I'm so happy you like it. So a couple of weeks later, I did some interviews with another radio station in the States. And the lady was asking, what are you doing with Calling the Wild? Do you have plans for touring or you want to tour with somebody? And I said, yeah, we definitely want to go on tour. And she said, what would be your dream tour? And I said, Dio, Ronnie James Dio. She said, that is so interesting because Ronnie James Dio is calling me in 2 hours. We have another phone interview. Shall I mention it to him? And I said, yes, why not? So to make a long story short, a couple of months later, we were on tour together. In 2000, it was Dio, Ingrid Malmsteen, and us. And it was the best tour of my life. And that was when metal came back in a big
Yeah.
way. And I'm so
Yes.
happy I did it. And
Yeah.
and I gave one of my life insurances to make the tour because touring is expensive. You have to um, pay for plane tickets and tour bus and gas and tour manager, road crew band. And then everybody said, I'm totally crazy. And I said, yeah, but I want to do the tour. And I'm so glad I did. And I
Did
have the best
did
memories.
did you ever have, like, to me, I don't, like, I can't, did you ever have like a day job?
Um, Actually, when I had my first band was called Snakebite.
Yeah,
Then I
yeah,
had a
yeah.
day job. I wanted to become a graphic artist, and I was working for 3 years, and I had fantastic people who were teaching me all kinds of things, and I used it to do all the posters and
Did you
logos
do
and
all those
stuff.
posters in back of you? You
Yes,
done that?
yes,
So let's see it again. Let's see all
yeah,
the
pretty
posters in back.
much.
That's pretty good work. You're like,
Yeah, all the logos and stuff, and of
if
course the
you
Warlock logo. Okay, that's Lemmy. I didn't do that picture, but
yeah, okay,
everything
okay.
else, and of course the paintings they were done by Jeffrey Gillespie, and I always use him. And he did the new album cover as well. That one, the Conqueress Forever Strong and Proud. And actually, I called him and I said, Jeffrey, I want to do another album. And he said, I already painted an album cover for you. And I said, really? And he said, yes, check it out. So he painted something, and it was from my favorite photo. And then we said, okay, how shall we call it? And I said, the work title is Forever Strong and Proud. And then we called it Conquistador, the Spanish word for conqueror. And I thought maybe not everybody knows what it means. And I thought maybe conqueror. And then I thought, let's put the female version. So that's the
You might as
reason
well.
how Conquerors Forever Strong and Proud came about. And yeah.
Any regrets in your career?
Oh no, actually, the grunge times, that was like, it was the way it was. So, I could have done without it. And it would have been great if it would have always gone up and up and up. But when grunge hit, it was like, going down. So it's always going up and down. And sometimes you have to just like hold on and like just like fight through, and hang in there. And then when we first time lost the name Warlock, I never planned doing a
Yeah.
solo record, solo album. I never wanted to call it Doro. It was always Warlock. But my ex-manager, who's actually not anymore alive, the German manager, he took the name because he was the
Yeah.
merchandiser. And we sold so many T-shirts. It was unbelievable. I think it was like Metallica, Warlock, and Maiden, or Maiden, Warlock, Metallica. It was unbelievable. So, when we had a little bit of success, he got a little bit crazy, and yeah, and then he left. He left Germany actually. He went to Turkey, and back then you couldn't find anybody in Turkey. There was no internet, no cell phones, so we never actually could talk about it. And we were planning the follow up for Triumph and Agony, the Warlock album, which was Force Majeure, and we had it done. And then suddenly, somebody said you can't use the name Warlock anymore. And I thought, hey, it's my name, it's our name. And then we had to go to court, and yeah, and this ex-manager, he was a little criminal.
Yeah.
He put the name under his name, the logo, and the Warlock. And I thought, man, I made the logo. I was a graphic artist. I did it, and it is our name. But the judge, he was not fair, and we were metal kids, with the long hair, the bullet belts on. And this manager, he came in a white suit, tie and suit. I never saw him in a suit before, but in this day, and then, yeah, and then it took me 20 years to get the name Warlock back. And now I have the right to the name Warlock back. But we had to call it Doro because of that reason. I never planned a solo career. So
All
that
right.
was actually, yeah. But things sometimes they don't go like you want to, and you have to deal with it and make the best out of it. Make the best out of every situation. And but I learned my lesson. Actually, I was always sometimes naive, and I thought, yeah, we can trust everybody. But and the manager, he was one of our best friends. That was actually the real disappointment. He ran away with the money, with the name, but he was a friend, and that was really painful. And then one time I got a phone call from a journalist from the Art Rock magazine. It's a big
Mm-hmm.
magazine in the Netherlands, one of the first metal magazines. And the guy, his name is Metal Mike, and Metal Mike called me up. He said, Doro, you know, your manager, he died, he got killed, he got poisoned. So I thought, yeah, he probably did something in Turkey what he, was not supposed to do. So we could never talk about it. We could never talk it out. And but that, yeah, things happen, and you just have to deal with it. And
So
yeah,
I,
you know,
I'm gonna bring somebody on. I'm gonna grab some fan on. I'm just gonna bring a fan on just to say hi to you. But in the meantime, are you planning on doing any Warlock albums in the future? Like just simply Warlock, or is that
yeah,
done?
maybe. Uh, I mean, in the next couple of years, I want to tour behind this new album, the Conqueress album. But eventually, we'll see. It would be great. I just did a couple of only Warlock shows with old school Warlock songs from Burning the Witches and all. We Are and True Steel and Hellbound and all that stuff. That's actually fun to do. And we recorded Triumph and Agony live. It came out 1.5 years ago.
Yes, that was like
And
Doro Warlock. That was like Doro Warlock, right?
yes, yes. So maybe, but yeah, but so far there's nothing in the making. But it might be a good idea. But yeah, but I have so many more songs because the Conqueress, it has 20 songs on it, which 17 originals and 3 cover versions. But we have many, many more songs which didn't make the album because
More
we had too many
songs.
anthems, too many fast songs, too many ballads. So I want to probably do another album
What
in
was
a
it
couple
like?
of years.
3 years ago, you released your last album.
Yeah, actually, the last album, the Triumph and Agony Live, that came out maybe 2 years ago, and before that we did that was called Magic Diamonds. It had 52 songs on it. There
Oh
was a
yeah, I
best
remember
of,
that's right.
and it was a DVD Blu-ray on Triumph and Agony. So and yeah, and I want to do another probably my last DVD Blu-ray for this anniversary show. We filmed already Wacken, which I think it looks and sounds great. And then we want to do this big show in Düsseldorf on the 28th of October. And yeah, and then I have some goodies. Some people, they gave me some little sticks, and there's some really rare footage on it. Like when we had our 20th anniversary, there's the rehearsal of Lemmy, and Mickey D is on that stick, and Udo Dirkschneider's on there. He looks so young, and we all look like kids. And so I want to put some real special things on the DVD as well, for people who like to collect all that stuff. And yeah,
So
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 that
it's
that's
been
the
a
plan
good
for the near future.
so I mean, look at that. You got such what a great career you've had. You're a lot of respect by the metal fans. A great album. Like who would have thought you're making more better? The music is a lot better today than it was back in the day, right? Like your music's getting better. Who would have thought, right? Who would have
Cool,
thought?
cool.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. Oh, when you feel that, that makes me so happy. And yeah, and it took like 3 years to make, but I think the fans will really love it. When they love it as much as we love it, I would be so happy. And yeah.
you know, Anyways, Tanvir is watching and he says, "Oh, let me jump on, let me jump on." And I go, "I'll let you jump on, but I sent you the link, but he hasn't jumped on." So it's okay. Not bad. Anybody out there who has any questions or comments, as we have another few minutes left with Doro, I'll answer any questions. There's a lot of comments. People are just writing comments, right?
Yeah. What are
You
they
know,
writing, Jimmy? What are they saying?
Tim says, "Thanks for the music, Doro. You're an awesome performer." Okay, so here we
Oh,
go. Hold on. Can't find the
thank you.
link.
Thank you.
You know what, Tanvir? Go to your messenger. Okay, go to your messenger. It's there. Marcy Douglas, if it wasn't for you, just think how much you have taught so many before you. That's legend.
Oh, oh,
Dora
thank you.
and
Thank you guys
Cecile,
for your
Cecile is,
kind.
didn't Dora do a cover of Kiss, Only You?
Yes, yes, actually, yeah, yeah, only you. Yeah, because I had the great chance to work with Gene Simmons in 1989, and I was a big Kiss fan, and to me, that was another dream, came true. And yeah, he wrote many songs for this album, and Tommy Thayer, he was the co-producer and played many great solos. And yes, and then Gene showed me the demo of Only You, and he tweaked the lyrics, and I thought, oh, I love it. I want to do it. So yeah, we did I think a very nice
And
cover version
Only
of Only
You
You.
was off of The Elder.
Yes, yes, it's of the Elder, which I liked very much.
Me
I know,
too. Well, I'm looking at the only people who like The Elder. Some great
yeah,
songs off The Elder, right?
I think it's different, but I think it has great songs on it, and yeah, it's different. But I like sometimes special things, and yeah, and especially Only You, I love. And yeah, and I did Legends Never Die. There was another song of Gene Simmons. I recorded it on our Fight album. I love that so much too. So yeah, and I'm still a big Kiss fan. We just played together in Brazil. It was Kiss and the Scorpions, and we played and Halloween, and yeah, it was just a big Brazilian Monsters of Rock festival actually in Brazil, and that was awesome. And yeah, and I'm so blessed that I can, I never thought when I had my first band that I would ever have the chance to meet anybody or to play all over the world or to go to America. That was always my dream. That's like probably, oh man. And yeah,
And there you
and
go.
and Canada, of
Yeah,
course.
soon,
I
soon,
never
soon,
thought we
soon.
would play outside of Germany. So
It's crazy, isn't it?
yes.
It's. But anyways, let's just go over your album one last time. All right, Conqueress, Forever, Strong and Proud. Wait. Here we go. Wait. Now Tanvir's finally gonna jump on. He's gonna say hi. Hold on. Look at this. I'm getting people. Like I could let in a lot of people, but I'm not. I'm just a few. Just a few. Tanvir, are you there? Just you get the final last words here. All the way in London.
Ah, wow.
Tanvir,
Hi, hey,
Ah,
London.
hi, fantastic. Thanks for having me on board. Great to see you, Doro. I have to say,
Great to see
um,
you too.
yeah,
Tell
you
you.
you look amazing. I'm
Oh,
slightly concerned because my wife's upstairs, and if she catches me talking to you, I might be in some serious trouble. But you know what? Life is too short. And
Yeah, or tell her hi. We're all family, so
how do you do it? What's your regime? I mean, it's both in terms of your vocals, but your health, your well-being.
Actually, uh, um, I don't do much. I gave up smoking. I was a chain smoker when I was a teenager, but I don't smoke anymore. I'm doing a lot of sports, and actually, I'm doing what I love, doing music. And I dedicated my life to the fans and to the music when I was 24 years old. I woke up one day in New York City, and then I thought, today I will choose my priorities. And then I thought, I want to do what I love, and that is music and the fans. And I was happy ever since. And I think when you do something every day, that's good. I never took a break. So I'm always like, having one adventure after the other, writing songs or recording or going on tour or playing a festival. And actually, and I eat, pretty healthy. I became vegan, so I know
But
it's
not
not
crickets.
everybody's,
Not crickets.
thing,
No crickets.
but I love animals so much, so I became vegan because of that. And but I think it's good for my health, and I think, yeah, and I'm just
Yeah,
happy to do what I love. That's
no
that's
no
the only secret.
no question about that. If I were a younger man, Doro, and I had more energy, you'd be in trouble. But
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
but anyway,
Let's not go there.
I mean, look,
Let's
you've been a trailblazer for so many artists, and if you look at the metal scene now, there are so many female metal singers right across the board. It's sort of common ground. I'm intrigued to know, are there any artists in the current day that you listen to, that you look out for? And also, I'm curious to know, who were the trailblazers for you? I mean, what gave you the courage to get up and sort of inspired you to to be the figure you are?
Actually, yeah, the first bands and the first shows I've seen, which inspired me so much. My very first rock concert was actually Whitesnake and David Coverdale. Oh, I love them so much. My second concert was Judas Priest, and I love Rob Halford. And support band was Accept. And my third concert was Ronnie James Dio. And I'm so blessed that I could tour and work with everybody. Oh my
There it
God, you
is.
got the Dio t-shirt on. Oh, how cool. How cool. So I had so many great inspirations. I loved Lemmy and Biff of Saxon and W.A.S.P. I'm a big W.A.S.P. fan. And before that, my first inspiration was actually when I was 3 years old. It was Little Richard and Lucille. The song Lucille and Little Richard, it made me go crazy. And I always wanted to have a band. And I'm the single, I'm an only child. I always wanted to have brothers and sisters, so I always wanted to form a band. And my first band was actually Snakebite when I was 15.
Yeah.
And then in 1982, we formed Warlock, and we took it from there. And now I love bands like Amon Amarth and Arch Enemy. Actually, Elisa White Blues, she's coming to my anniversary concert in Düsseldorf, Germany on the 28th.
She's from here.
She's
Elisa's
flying
from
in
here.
from Canada.
She's from
yes.
Montreal. Yeah, from Montreal.
And actually, I had some great female singers I love. For example, Lee Aaron from Canada.
She's from
She
Canada
was
too.
awesome. And
But I see this metal queen. I don't know who the metal queen is. Is it Lee Aaron or is it you? Like, I'm getting confused here.
I think we're all metal queens. There's so many great ladies doing a fantastic job from all kinds of metal genres, from death metal.
No, Doro. There's only one metal queen, and we know who that is. So, I can't believe Jimmy even said that. I mean,
well, I have to.
It's all good. We are all great friends as well. We all support each other. That's actually the best part. I love it. And yeah, one band from the UK, Rock Goddess, Jodie Turner. She was one of my favorite singers and still is.
Oh, fantastic. I mean,
But hold on, Tanvir. On that note, we got to let her go. We got to let her go on that note. We got to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up. Doro,
Doro, you've ticked off. I grew up with your picture and Debbie Harry's picture on my wall.
There you go. Enough of this. enough of this.
I'm a
This is
happy
very
man.
awkward. This is getting very awkward. Stop.
That's good. Okay, thank you for, yeah.
Everybody go pick it up. It's coming out, the new album Conqueress, Forever Strong and Proud, on October the 27th on Nuclear Blast
You're
Records.
amazing.
All right.
You're amazing.
Thank you,
Thank
sweetheart.
you so
Thank
much
you.
for being a, thank you
Good
so
night.
much.
Good
All right,
night.
everybody. Thank you for everybody for watching. Bye.
Thank you.